Here we are. Oh my gosh.
Tell us where we are.
So this is Felber Pottery, Houston, Texas. We have been here 40 years, and we have a large electric kiln here that's actually computer programmable. And I don't know if you can move the camera to show this, Brigitte, but I actually did, I don't know if you can see it, we'd have to get in closer.
Yeah.
A 55-hour and 16-minute firing. I have never in my life
Really?
done a 55-hour firing in here. I think the most was maybe 35.
Oh, really?
So I just hedged my bet, and I went so slow. And when I was done, I went 55 hours. Oh my God.
So the reason why we're doing 55 hours, and I kind of learned something. First of all, we know each other from when we began our careers, and we kind of were reunited
30 years ago.
Yeah.
So,
And we were reunited again. So I'm really glad that she came through, because I never do, as you saw in previous videos, I very rarely do water-based clay anymore. Everything goes bronze, and so it taught me something. I was really nervous because I've always heard air pockets, air pockets, air pockets. And so when it came to doing Penny Marshall, I mean, I'm putting clay on, I'm taking it off, I'm cutting her eye off, I'm putting her eye back in, I'm moving her eye lower, and I'm paying no attention to air pockets. And so you said it really wasn't the air pockets. You said it was the water that's caught in the air pocket.
Correct. So it's a little cavity, if you think of a little pocket of air, and it can be tiny, a little cavity, and as a piece dries, water evaporates, and it's going to want to go out of the clay. So if there's a pocket, it's actually condensation like in there. That would be fine until you start to heat it up. Let's do a little science here. You start to heat it up, and I believe water turns to steam at about 212 degrees Fahrenheit. Steam molecules take up more space than water molecules, and that steam butts up against that clay and blows through it.
Boom.
Because it's got a lot of power. And so if you can get it so that the water's gone before 212 degrees, so it's just drying, almost like air drying, which is actually what I did. I did 24 hours with this lid completely up at 100 degrees. That's like what we're standing in right now.
I know,
here in my
it's
shed.
really hot in
It's really hot in
Texas.
Houston. So it was like as if it was staying here without the humidity, because it was all this dry air. And then I went to 200 degrees for 10 hours.
With the lid up.
Yes, lid was still up. Just wanted all that water vapor to slowly just evaporate before it could actually get to the point where it was steam.
We actually brought it here a little wet.
Yes, it was actually quite wet. It was quite wet, which we that's like the kiss of death for potters, to put wet clay in a kiln. And I said, well, not if we just let it sit there for hours and hours. It's larger than the other one too. It's very large. I actually, we can maybe do a shot in here. You know, the way I put pieces around it, I couldn't get it around the whole thing because it took the span of the whole shelf. So I was worried about it not having the, wall of pottery around it.
What is the wall of pottery? What's that for?
So,
why do you put a wall of pottery around?
So it's just because the coils are the coils are in the wall.
Right.
The heat is in the wall. So that's the heat that hits the piece first. So I just didn't want any unevenness in the firing. I wanted to make, so if you have a piece of a vase or something there, here's the wall with the electric elements, here's your vase, and then here's Penny Marshall. It's just a little protection, a little like buffer, so it's not getting that direct, really high heat right on it. That's why I do it.
And I have to point this out, that when I first started sculpting back in high school, I did a bust of Jesus Christ and he blew up in the kiln. So I kind of have firing issues, but I fired a lot of things since then. I mean, you used to fire for me a long time ago, but I fired other things, and nothing has ever blown up. But I was a little bit nervous about this because it's a commission. There's a deadline. I'm going up to present this
in New York.
And they're coming down to get it on this. But I had total faith in your firing. So
no, I had You never know. Mother Nature, everything. I never say 100% sure, but I was pretty darn sure. I even peeked in here at 400 degrees and at 800 degrees. I did a real quick peek at 800. That.
So we haven't opened it yet, guys, and we're opening Penny Marshall. And anything else we should say? Did you call that quartz?
Quartz inversion.
Yes, what's quartz
Look
inversion?
it up, kids.
Okay.
It's where the clay molecule, because the clay goes from being literally dirt. It's dirt. You know, if we hadn't fired this and she stuck Penny Marshall into water, it would be mud.
It would disintegrate.
It would disintegrate. But it goes through this inversion where it now loses molecular water and becomes stone. Quartz is stone. So it's now a stone. You cannot dissolve this in water anymore. So it's changed its molecular structure.
Fascinating.
I love it.
I know. You're a regular scientist. What else do we have to say about this process? I don't know. Are you ready to lift it?
I think I'm ready. Ready? Yeah, drum roll.
Okay. You rock it, man.
So I have to take out, these are the buffer pieces around it.
Is this different color in here? Is this because of the vinegar that...
Oh, maybe it is. That's interesting.
Well, look at that. One of the things that she was telling me that I should do is instead of making my slip with water, I should make it with white vinegar, and then add my slip in that. And the reason being is because I had to cut it apart, and then I had to hollow it out and put all those holes in it, and then I had to put it back together again. And so when I put it back together again, Judy had suggested that I use vinegar in my slip, and we are noticing that there's just a little coloration. It doesn't matter. I'm staining it till it's bronze, so it doesn't make any difference to me. So
Yeah,
we
but
can't let you see all of Penny. We can let you see the back of her, but because the client gets to see her first. But
okay, ready? And I'm going to put it over here, and then I
Are
can
you?
change the camera.
Okay. Put it back facing the camera, though.
I know. Penny Marshall in a baseball cap.
Okay, we're gonna check it out. So far, I'm happy. We'll talk to you later.